It's Christmas time again. It's not Christmas time. Christmas is over. That is it. It's like I've got a little Christmas tree up here. On it is all just to ignore them. This video is a review of 2018 of everything I've noticed, things that I've noticed, right? But also just major events in my life and also in the boating world. Because 2018 has been a funny one, hasn't it? If we just start, I've made a list, by the way. Always be prepared. I've got bad and good. Quite negative, starting with bad, but you'll see why. So, bad weather. So this is the first one, isn't it? It was really quite cold at the start of the year in the UK. We had this beast from the east storm that came in, bringing Siberian temperatures, and then flooding came soon after. And that did cause me some problems. And then it was really hot, wasn't it, in the summer? It was like the joint hottest summer we've ever had in the UK. And it was hell. It really was. Because I'm in a poorly insulated metal boat. Also, the weeds problem. I mean, a lot of boaters had problems with a blanket weed this year. It was quite something. To stop every 10 minutes just to get your weed hatch open to remove bits of weed it's just not right. So that was really tough going for many of us this year. But if you look on the good side, you can see that let's start with the cold weather. So the cold weather, the good thing about that, it's beautiful, isn't it, when it snows? Beautiful scenery. Certainly quite exciting when it's flooding and you're on the river. That's always a good thing. Well, it makes a good vlog anyway. Then you've got the summer, and it might not have been perfect weather for boating because it's hard work going through locks when it's just the sun is beating down so hard, but it was just perfect for just sitting outside drinking beer, so I was definitely appreciative of that. And the World Cup this year, if you liked football, you really had a good old summer. Another negative that I took from 2018 was that I didn't move my boat very much. So the Naughty Lass only seemed to go from Lincoln, started at Lincoln in January, went to Boston at the end of the River Witham. We couldn't make the cross to on the wash down to Norfolk, etc. I had to turn back, and then I just sort of went to the Chesterfield Canal, and then end up here where I am now in Newark-upon-Trent, so in Nottinghamshire. So I don't feel like I've moved that far. But on the plus side, you can see where the pattern's going now. I certainly moved someone else's boat quite a lot, and that was Lou, wasn't it? So if you've seen the videos, this video series I've done, really proud of that series actually, because I edit it as I was going along. Daily edits. And a major positive for me was that I could actually A, edit on my phone, that was brilliant, and B, create something every day. I felt so full of energy. I was on holiday, of course, so I wasn't working my normal job. But it was brilliant. I was just away with it, and almost every day I had a video ready, which is just absolutely unheard of for me. I do find it normally quite hard to do, as you would do if you're surrounded by all the pressures of your own home and workspace. You tend to sort of have to do things you don't want to do instead of the things you do want to do. So in actual fact, that whole big bloody boat move was a trip that really changed my life. So thanks again to you, Lou, for getting me involved with that, and also supporting as a Patreon supporter. Another negative from the year is the Canal River Trust. It's alright, it's going to be quite balanced. So the Canal River Trust, number one for me as a marketing, graphic design sort of type of person, their logo. The logo itself is very much like, I don't know if you've seen the Blue Circle company, the cement makers company. So it looks like a cement company, or some people have said it looks like a tyre floating in the water, so very apt, they've said. But the colour itself, the corporate colour they've chosen, it's not natural. And I know they want to probably try and stand out and make people notice the brand a bit more, but I think that's going too far. And I've seen now the working boats that have been painted this colour. If they want to draw more people in, they need to design the logos like National Trust have done, or English Heritage, because those charities, organisations, that people love them, you know. And I think Canal River Trust they've certainly, I think they've distanced themselves with that. There's other things that I want to cover here. I don't want to get too negative about this because of the great work that they do, but this hashtag better by water, and I really feel for all the staff that have to use it, because I just think they must be hating themselves having to say that. It's just so disingenuous. And better by water, not in water or on water, better by water. I mean, if they ever wanted to distance themselves from boaters in one hashtag, that's it. On the plus side, the bank staff that I've met this year have been absolutely incredible. And when I've called in to the customer services and they've said, I've explained I've got a problem, I'm stuck in some blanket weed, you know, I really am stuck, can you come down and help me shift it? They were down there, you know, and they didn't have the tools, they didn't have the machinery, but they got stuck in. And alright, some of them were volunteers, but these people are really good, especially as one of them's on my crankit crew. So these people are boaters as well. So I hope that people don't forget that. At the end of the day, we're all people anyway, so. What I love about pubs is it's a community place. It's where people can go to meet other people. No judgments usually. Just go in there and you can be yourself. And if you're on your own, it doesn't matter. If you're in a group with your friends, it doesn't matter. It's that kind of place. So that's what a pub should be. Unfortunately, some of those pubs, the old pubs of the weeks, they've been put into a lot of pressure, and some of them have been forced to close. There was one in Birmingham that nearly did, but reopened. And they only do that because of the communities surrounding them. And there's breweries like, I don't want to name brewery, I've already named them in my Boston vlog, because there was a pub there that was they were kind of hiding this fact they were selling ale, because they knew that if they did really well on it, the brewery would up the price on it. And that's really bad, isn't it, for real ale? And there's just a general pressure on pub tenants. So many pubs are changing hands, and I would love to make a book about, pub of the week, or pub of the year, a book, but I can't, because they change hands so much. Like, it just doesn't stay the same, even a few months after I've passed by. On the plus side, we've never had so many beers and ciders and gins to choose from. So if you're partial to a tipple and you like trying various drinks, then yeah, you're going to be happy. Probably because you're pissed. Crime's bad, okay? It is generally bad. But I'm noticing that a lot of towns that I come to stay in, yeah, there's hardly any police around. But there is like a whole mixture of people, and some of those people don't get on with other people. And all kinds of bad stuff happens, drugs. There's lots of drugs problems in these market towns. Oh, the one I'm in right now, Newark, it's got a walk nearby. There was only a couple of walks nearby, and one of them is just through these woods where there's just loads of needles everywhere. And it's really, really bad. And I did see a lady rush out of a toy shop a few months back with some goods under her arm, and had to dump it and then just run off. And I just thought, wow. So I feel like I've noticed an increase in crime in some of these towns. Oh, and I can't not mention crime without mentioning the boat that was stolen from Saxelby in Lincolnshire. I was right next to it when it happened. But the good thing about that was that the community really did rally behind it all, and came to help with everything. So the worst in people brings out the best in people, I like to think, anyway. The cities seem to be safer these days, I think. Anywhere there's more CCTV, where there's more police presence, and people are more sort of on guard, then I think it just does feel a bit safer. I don't know if you agree with me on that one. Media coverage of narrowboating and the boat living lifestyle, portraying this sort of lovely rosy picture of how it could be. This could be you on the boat, living the dream. If you do travel around the UK on a narrowboat, that is only part of the picture that you'll see. I just feel like it's trivialised quite a lot, and this is why I've got this vlog, because I'm trying to show the real side of living on a narrowboat. But that leads me to the good side of this, and that is that's more exposure for me. The more and more content about narrowboating that's out there, it's brilliant, because that just hopefully expands my audience of people I can connect with, and that's fantastic. And if I get more opportunities to meet more people and experience all kinds of different things, and that's what life's all about. Now we come to probably the most negative thing I've experienced this year. I don't think I was really depressed. I was just getting down because of the state of my boat. You know, it's not a new boat. It's a very old boat. It's 37 years old. I'm 36, just a year older than me. But it's, you know, there's a point in the summer where it was really hot, and I was just getting really, really fed up, really, really sort of frustrated. Probably because I wasn't doing any exercise because it was too hot. But I was just thinking, I don't want to live like this. You know, I want to have stepped it up by now. And I think part of that was because I was letting all these jobs slide. So things like painting the outside of the boat. I was just looking at this boat thinking, is that what image I'm putting out to people? It's just, you know, this rusty boat. And it shouldn't matter what people think of you, but it's just, it's like, it's how you're treating yourself, isn't it? So, you know, if I had a messy boat, you know, how am I treating myself? Not very well. And with all the things that I've just let slide, you know, because I love cruising. I want to just be out there on the boat, cranking it somewhere. That's what I want to do, and I think that's what everyone wants to do, really. But unfortunately, the reality of it is there's lots of jobs to do on the boat. You're never bored, and there's always something to maintain. It's also really hard to find mechanics like marine engineers and marine sort of plumbers and all that sort of people who know their way around boats. It's hard enough because each one's different, but I've really, really struggled. Like right now, I need a plumber to change over my shower because it's one of these weird ones, just too fiddly for me to do. But I have found that through YouTube, I can say things like that, like I need a plumber, you know. I can say things like that, and I've had people like my friend in Sheffield, Liam. He came along with an inverter. I've friends from Manchester, from all over, just coming around to help. And YouTube, making the videos about it has really helped. So you have really helped me just by listening to what I'm saying and helping me through it, and sometimes offering me the right suggestions. I do get a lot of comments that aren't particularly helpful, but you know, it's YouTube. You get all kinds of stuff on here, and I've out of all the troubles that I've had with the boat, I've actually met more people, and I went on more experiences. So, for example, my North Yorkshire Moors holiday just recently, my friend Paul, he certainly taught me that Yorkshiremen aren't always tight by lending me his cottage and his car. And then my Patreon supporters have just gone above and beyond. You've really helped me by not only just sort of, you know, obviously sending me money per month for the videos, but it actually helping out. So let's have a little bit of footage now. Some of the painting that I've done, the various little jobs I've sorted out, and just the general brilliantness of my friends and people that I've met through YouTube. Here we go. Could we play the Hello and welcome to another episode of Watching Paint Dry with me, Robbie Cumming. Yeah, so here I am, rollering on some paint. This is enamel, Rylard green enamel paint, and then laying it off with a dry brush. And that is a professional technique, guys. I bet you didn't expect that. And that's about as helpful as I can be, really, because I'm not the world's expert on painting. I do really enjoy it. I mean, it's much better than the preparation side, which, although I only showed you a 3-second clip, it takes about 90% of the work. And all the red bits here, it's red oxide paint. But more helpful was using some of the rust converter, the black sort of stuff you'll see there. It's quite possibly one of the worst paint jobs you'll ever see, but it's something. And there we go. Apart from the windows, which I'm going to paint white when the weather's nice again, that was all done in a couple of months during October and November. Now, during the autumn, I had quite a few visitors, many of whom provided help or just a distraction from some of the jobs that I was doing.
And some of them even bought me some lovely gifts, such as this jam.
Yeah. You just put it over
and
the
this
top,
really neat homemade
seal it round,
beeswax
your heat from
paper.
your hand seals it.
And then some of my favourite things.
Yorkshire beer.
Yorkshire beer. Can't say no to
Halifax
that.
beer.
Brilliant.
And then we've got Andrew, the creator of the Pedalorian. He came by to drop me off this map cover and just to help me get going on a few jobs.
Now we're just going to get some storage items from Yorkshire Trading. Right, 50 centimetres by 40 centimetres. Say 50 by... Do you know what? That'll do. And it matches the decor of my boat.
On this particular day, Andrew, Holly and I did lots of various little jobs, really.
So one quite small job, but still pretty essential because it improves the ventilation, but it will help with condensation basically. So the idea is air, water, vapour will go out through these. And I've got a little bit of gauze there to stop any spiders getting in. It's well overdue.
Oh, thank you.
You're going in the book, Andrew Haining.
And because Andrew's been such a brilliant help over the years,
Thanks, man.
I just had to put him in the book as a Crank It crew member.
It's as easy as that. You just have to do a few jobs and you're in.
Yeah, just fix a boat. That's all you need to do. Yeah.
So, apart from Holly and Andrew, I've also had Bonnie and Ollie here over to help. And also Lou, of course. And Al. I mean, Al has been a top bloke this year. Not only as a patron supporter, but he helped fix Lou's boat when we got a bit stuck with the stern gland. Matt and his drone, who helped film in Lincoln. And also Colin, who helped with the locks in Worksop. We'd be here all day if I thanked everyone that helped me in 2018. So I've just got to say, thank you. You know who you are.
So that's it. Now, there's one thing I haven't done. I haven't included anything about my toilet yet. That's coming up. I'm going to save a special video for that because I know... Well, I want to show it off, actually, because it is all done now, but I want to tell the story properly through a new video. The stuff I have to film for YouTube. And there's loads more to come. There's a second part of my Hamburg trip, which I really want to share with you, and also some other random videos that based on things that happened that probably shouldn't have happened, but makes a good vlog. There's some really big things happening. I've got some major cruising plans for next year. We'll talk about that on another video. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you've had a Merry Christmas and you have a Happy New Year, and thank you for getting me through 2018. Bye!